Hello. So just a quick word before we start on what we're trying to breed. We're trying to breed good, healthy, happy horses who are not of any particular passport society, they're not of any particular breed, but they'll do a really good solid day's work and they have really nice workable personalities. We also want a little bit of size about them. So what we've been doing is we've been crossing heavy horses with cobs, and we've been really pleased with the results so far. Our colts are now just coming into work and this will be their first generation of foals. So these are some of the boys that we've bred already. As you can see, we think they're absolutely fantastic. Although some people do prefer a pedigree, we prefer something that's going to live a long time and get the job done. So we have 3 mares due to foal this year. This is Dolly. She's a cob mare that we picked up a few years ago at an auction. She's a really good horse and has been one of our main working horses now for about 8 years. She's also a really big fan of a good scratch. This is her daughter Blossom from a previous foaling. She's a Brabant cross cob, and we really like the stamp that Blossom's come out. She's now about 15 to nearly 16 hands almost at 3 years old. As you can see, she's a really useful, chunky size, really strong, and she's got a great temperament too. Next up is Lotty. She's a full bred Brabant, which is a Belgian draft horse. She is about 5 or 6 years old. This will be her second foal, and her foal will be a Brabant cross Percheron cross cob, because the father is a Percheron cob cross that we bred ourselves about 6 years ago. She's a really nice mare. We actually have the full brother to the foal that's due. His name is Hades. He's currently about 16 hands at 2 years old, but he doesn't have the leg issues that we see in the Brabants even at a really young age. He's a lot more clean-legged with the Percheron genes. And this we're hoping will give those foals a much longer and healthier life than the Brabants usually have. And next up is Lupin. She's a Clydesdale cross cob. We've had her since she was about 18 months old. She's a really good driving mare. She does all the work as well. And this will be her second foal that she's had. Her first foal was a Brabant cross, and that's Strider, which is actually the father of Dolly's foal this year. And the father of the foal that's due is a Brabant cross cob. And all 3 of the girls are due from the 20th of June onwards. So about 3 weeks from now. Just a couple of weeks later, so a couple of weeks early, Lupin started doing this.
Right, welcome to the maternity ward at Hitchin Farm. We weren't expecting any foals till, next week, maybe 10 days time, but we've just come out and Lupin is absolutely running milk. We've put her in foal to Onyx, who is a Brabant cross cob, who you would have seen out working if you follow our Facebook. So yeah, we'll see what happens next.
Dolly wasn't looking anything like near foaling yet, so she just had a good scratch and got to stay out with her fly rug on with the rest of the girls.
Oh, the scritches.
Yeah.
Scritches got her real good. Oh yeah.
Come on, lady. Off to the maternity ward.
I wonder if they're going to foal before you get there. Oh!
As it was a bit of a surprise that Lupin had decided to go so early, we went in and put down a really nice big bed for them. They've got a really big barn to roam around in and plenty of hay. And we've never had a mare run milk like this before and then not foal that night.
So here we are at 3 AM and she still hasn't foaled. Get up again in a couple of hours and see what she's doing.
And what she was doing was nothing. We actually brought her in again the next night and she still didn't foal then either. So we put them back out in the field so they could stretch their legs and see if it made her a little bit more comfortable.
So we've just come out in the field and found this. at that. Right, so it's now about 2 hours since we think the foal was born. Unfortunately, Lupin has retained her placenta. So we've called the vet. They should be out with us in about 40 minutes. She did do this last time that she had a foal as well. What they do is they give them a dose of oxytocin and it helps to release it. But we'll keep you posted with what goes on there.
So you may have noticed that we'd already popped a knot in the placenta, and this is to help sort of get a pendulum effect on it, which can help it to come out. So if you ever have a mare that is not releasing it, that is worth giving a try. But unlike cattle and sheep, horses do need to get rid of that placenta within 3 hours of giving birth, otherwise they can get a toxic reaction, and it can be quite dangerous to them.
So the vet's called back and they want her to come in. So we're just bringing her in for the first time. We've got a great big barn here that they can hang out in for a minute. And hopefully the vet will be here soon. It's now nearly 3 hours and she still hasn't dropped her placenta. And she should have by now, effectively. So we shall see.
Time for a quick snack while we wait. We had checked Lupin's temperature and it had not started to rise at this point, so we weren't too worried. But the vet did arrive shortly afterwards.
So Lupin had to actually have her womb washed out, which was pretty graphic. And we also had an immunity test on the foal because we were concerned that she'd lost quite a lot of her colostrum because she was leaking milk. We had the vets test that just to make sure that the filly was going to be okay, and all looks good. It's lower immunity than sort of perfect, but it's not looking too bad, so that's quite good. And she'll be going back out in the field soon and being reintroduced to all the mares, so we'll hopefully have some new babies for her to play with as well. Today is actually the due date for the other two mares. Lupin should have had the same due date, but she came a bit early, so we'll see what happens next.
So the weather actually changed quite drastically shortly after this, and we had quite a lot of rain. So we took the opportunity to leave Lupin and her foal, which we called Bracken, in the barn. This gave Bracken the opportunity to be introduced to all sorts of different things. She's met chickens, tractors, and the other horses that are in for work. She's also met cats. This is Nimbus here, who is always absolutely everywhere on the farm. And she had the opportunity to find her feet. Thankfully, we'd put down a nice thick bed for her. And after a couple of days, she was ready to go back out with the mares' herd.
So next to foal was Lotty. I came out to check her about 3 o'clock last night. She was just slightly sweaty. So Mike came out again a couple of hours later, and we've got a lovely little colt foal here. He is the full brother to Hades, which is one of the stallions that we've got in the field. I'll show you him now.
So you can see him here. He's a big lad. He's now 2 and about 16 hands, and he's got mum's lovely pink roan colouring. So he is Brabant Percheron Cob Cross.
So far so good. The only thing is he's not yet been able to find her udder, so we might have to give him a little bit of a hand in a minute to do that. We do generally find that the colts are a bit slower on the uptake with that, and also the heavy horses are a bit slower on the uptake with that as well. So he's actually 3/4. Hello, Lottie Lou. 3/4 heavy horse, and so he might just be in need of a little bit more help.
He's a really strong, sturdy little boy. Lottie's last foal that we had, that would be the full brother to this foal, came out really, really small, and we were quite disappointed. He's grown into a bit of a monster, but this one came out absolutely huge, so it'll be quite interesting to see how big he actually gets. He did eventually find his food, but he was so tall that he had to reach across and drink from the opposite side. We'd had to bring Bracken back in because of all the rain, but now she had a companion to play with, so this became a bit of a nursery ward for us all.
Right, we've had to bring our foals in for the last couple of days, and this colt foal hasn't actually been out in the field because the weather has been so drastically bad. And yeah, so they're going to go out for the first time now.
Oh, is that the good stuff? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My baby. My baby.
Oh, she's lost him.
Right, Josie's got this.
Yeah. He's over here.
Ridiculous. Baby.
I needed that.
Oh God. That's mine. I think that's mine. My baby. My baby.
It's not her fault you forgot it.
My baby. Should really test that mare to see if she's involved.
Yeah.
The mares soon sorted themselves out and everything was all settled again. We did get a few days of nice weather before it turned back to rain, and we were still waiting for another week for Dolly to show any signs that she was going to foal.
Welcome to Hitchin Farm midsummer. It's so cold and wet that we'll have to bring our foals in now. We're just going to go and grab them, they're just down here. And it looks like Dolly's going to foal tonight because she's just started running colostrum.
So this little filly we've decided to call Pagan. She is, try and get that straight. There we go. She is Dolly's second foal. Blossom was her first, who you might have seen earlier in the video. The father of this foal is Strider. He's a great big drum horse that we bred a few years ago. And as you can see, this filly's really, really nicely marked. She was born between 2 and 4 a.m. I came out at 2 and Dolly wasn't doing anything interesting. And then I came out again at 4 and she'd already had the foal and it was up and drinking. So, went brilliantly. I think we've been really lucky this year with very few complications with all 3 of the foals so far.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to see more of our lovely herd of horses.
Yes. Then the ball up then.